Back in 2012, we began talking about how the future would look without dollars and cents.
The latest endangered species under attack in Australia is not the Tassie devil or the cute koala, but in fact it's cold hard cash. And will there come a time when we become a completely cashless society?
Well, now the future has arrived and only 13% of our payments are made in cash.
I always use card. I don't think anyone carries cash anymore, do they?
I think probably you end up losing money if you hand over cash anyway, because you toss the coins away.
In Sydney's CBD, this cafe won't accept your cash bills.
As far as we see it, cash is costly. Having to hold cash, having to store it, having to count it, having to handle it is a cost and does represent a risk, especially for our staff at the end of the shift.
9 years ago, Chris made the decision to make his cafes in Brisbane and Sydney completely cashless.
And when you've got people fussing around trying to find the right change, you've got till operators that are also trying to count the correct change as well, it really slows things down.
But if re-elected independents Andrew Gee, Bob Catter and Di Lee get their Keeping Cash Transactions in Australia bill passed, businesses like Chris's will soon be forced to accept cash.
When you go shopping here in my community, you need to be prepared to have cash in your pocket. Otherwise, it's a challenge.
It's Canley Heights, you got to use cash. It's Asians, you got to use cash.
What's the cultural bit of it?
I don't know, cash is king, I think, pretty much.
With a large migrant population in Western Sydney, Di Lee says her electorate of Fowler is still keen for cash.
A lot of them have escaped regimes whereby the government of the day has taken over their money, has taken over their lives, so therefore they are less trusting of government institutions for fear that they'll take their money away, they'll take their rights away.
I think we understand that being cashless is a sensitive topic. For some in the community, they may feel marginalised, they may feel that their currency or their business is not valid, but for us it's simply not true.
If the cash mandate passes, it could force businesses to accept cash at all times, with fines of up to $25,000 if they fail to comply.
Ultimately, costs will have to be passed on. We'll do everything we can to absorb those costs, but we've never charged surcharges for not using cash or for credit facilities. We've always banked that into our pricing.
I think cash is legal tender, and I think that people should be able to use legal tender wherever they're shopping.
The Council of the Ageing claims that 1 in every 2 Australians over 65 years regularly uses cash and struggles with online banking.
They find it really good for budgeting purposes, but also they are nervous being online with good reason. They are targeted through scams, and people over the age of 65 are often the people that lose more money to scams than any other age group in the community.
But the argument for cash could be running out of currency. ATM withdrawals have plunged from 65.6 million a month in 2012 to just 29.3 million last year. You mentioned cultural issues, but is it also about tax? People just trying to avoid paying tax?
The majority of business owners that I know out here, it's about them getting on with building their lives, making sure that they are making a living, and tax or bureaucracy is the last thing that they think about.
What about the argument that actually change with the times? The technology's here, this is the future of the economy, everyone's got to get on board.
We need to take on board some of the changes that are happening in our society. But think about it though, if there was to be something that goes wrong with the banking system, which it has happened before, it's just put a stop to people accessing their money. And a lot of people here are concerned about that.
Just explain the love of cash.
That's because we have to pay for the fees of the machine, right? And sometimes I don't refer that. Why we have to pay for the fees? Extra money, we could save it.
So you're here with dad and daughter. Are they dad and daughter cash?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's cash only.
And your daughter?
And she's probably card in the future.
Anytime I've tried to use cash, they always look at you like, what am I going to do with this? I got nothing else to do. I don't know. I can't change. I can't give you change for this. I haven't got enough sitting in here.
It's a burden. And sometimes when I get cash from, dodgy stand-up comedy gigs, you're a good guy, whatever. But it feels like free money because you never get cash. So you don't know what to do with it. And you just start spending it too quickly.
Mate, you go for lunch in Canley Vale. I was out there interviewing Di a few months ago for an election story. I hadn't had breakfast, so I tried to get lunch, and I I had no cash.
What happened?
I couldn't get lunch.
Oh, you poor guy.
Yeah, so
Wasn't your
you need
face?
to go.
Wasn't your face currency in that town? I'm good for it.
Sadly not,
But, you know,
Hamish McDonald about me.
I love the idea of cash, but it's just hard, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's not very efficient.
Yeah, totally. I got a lot in my walls, so I'm going to knock one out.